Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing very well. So the Emmys were last night, or if you're here in the UK, this morning. And what happened? What happened? You know what? I don't even have the right to be angry at this point. Like, truly, like, I don't even have the right to be angry, because is it not every single time when I'm sitting here to react to some awards show that I'm pissed off, that I'm angry as hell, okay, that my blood pressure is through the roof? Is it not every single time? So why do I keep doing this to myself? At this point, like, it's my fault. Like, who else could I possibly blame? Because it can't be Hollywood. I should expect this from them by now. So it's just me at this point. Like, I was gonna start off this video being like, they must take me for a fool, whatever. But in reality, I am a fool. Who else would keep doing this? Who else would keep following these award seasons with these expectations, these high expectations, thinking that maybe this will be the time, maybe this will be the year that Hollywood changes and actually responds to audiences and to trends in entertainment. Like, maybe our wishes and desires will be heard by the Hollywood elite. Who else would keep doing that to themselves year after year, award season after award season, but a fool? I'm the fool. I can't blame them because they showed me who they were. I just didn't believe them the first time around, or the second, or the third. And now here we are with the 500th Emmys, and it's like so disappointing, but at the same time so typical. And if I'd been paying attention, if I didn't hold out hope that there would be a change this year for whatever reason, I wouldn't have been disappointed because the signs were all there. Okay, so clearly I've already gotten myself all worked up because this is just the beginning, so I need to calm down. I literally just need to calm down. But I am going to be reacting to and sharing my thoughts and feelings on the Emmys from last night. And if you want to hear my more detailed thoughts and feelings about the nominations from this year, you can go ahead and check out my reaction to the nominations list. But this is just going to be an overall reaction to the night itself. I did not watch the ceremony because who does? Like, who does? Like, I didn't watch the ceremony and neither did you. Okay, so that doesn't matter. And also it was like at 1 a.m. in the UK, as I mentioned. So like, no, I'm not doing that. Thank you very much. And I'm glad I didn't. Although considering it was such a British heavy night, perhaps they should have catered to the British audience and actually aired the show at a more appropriate time for us in this time zone. But anyway, before we delve into all my thoughts and feelings about the Emmys, as per usual, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and make sure you turn on your notifications so that you can be told when I upload next. And if you enjoy my reactions to all of these various awards that just end up giving me high blood pressure for no apparent reason, then if you could please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, it would really help out the channel. Now, without further ado, let's dive into my thoughts on this winners list. So first of all, I'm going to start off this video with yet another rant, just yet another rant that you will probably see coming. This might trigger some of you, and if that's the case, then... But I just have a question for the Academy. Okay, I just have a question for the voters of the Emmys. Where are the black people? Like, where are the black people? I tried my darndest to find them. I tried my darndest to find the black people amongst the winners last night, but I couldn't quite find them. I saw a few like scattered around, but it was really hard to locate the black people, the people of color in general, in the winners list last night. What the hell happened? What the hell happened in 2021? Because last year, I'm pretty sure last year, I was gelling with the winners list from the Emmys. Like, I'm pretty sure we were pretty much on the same page in terms of who deserved to win. But if that's not the case, then let me know down in the comments because I haven't watched my reaction to the winners in a while, okay? So I could be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure I was okay with the winners list last year. But this year, 2021, they said, oh, they said, oh, you thought Black Lives still mattered? No, that was 2020. Like, that was a theme of 2020's ceremony. And it shows because the winners of the major categories for the Emmys this year were like almost exclusively white. Like, what? Literally, like, how did they do such a 180? Last year it was all performative activism, it was all inclusivity, it was all Black Lives Matter, and then this year they were like, oh, no, we don't want to carry that on. That was just for last year. It's like the Met Gala theme. Like they were like, oh, we're just going to do that theme for 1 year and then swiftly move along. Now, what's really frustrating about this is that for the longest time, Hollywood used the excuse that, like, you know, we can't have black people or a lot of black people or people of color in our awards ceremonies because they don't really get up to anything that's awards worthy. Like, they have their entertainment, but it's not exactly on the same level as white entertainment. But in recent years, be it with premium television and streaming services, we have seen an influx, we have seen an avalanche of incredible content, okay, amazing content that is centered on characters of color, that also have people of color working behind the cameras. So there is literally no excuse. That excuse has fallen apart. So now when I ask Hollywood, where are the black people at these awards ceremonies, what's the excuse now? What's the excuse now? Huh? You're stumped. You have no excuse, okay? It's just because the content is there and they're on your nominations list. So clearly you're aware, but you just decided not to vote for them to win. Now, my second/third rant of this video is somewhat closely related, but I just want to open it up with a scenario. I just want to open it up with a metaphor, if you will. Imagine you're at school, okay? And you're given a reading list, a 20 book long reading list by your teacher. You're supposed to complete all of that reading for the entirety of the year until you have to give in an assignment at the end of the academic year that counts for like 100% of your exam. Just imagine, okay? And then imagine when it's time to hand in your assignment, you've only referenced 3 books. You've only read 3 books. And then imagine your teacher reading your essay, knowing that you've only read those 3 books and saying, this is perfect, this is perfection. That reading list was nonsense. Like, you didn't actually have to reference it. It was just for shits and giggles. Like, don't even worry about it. This is an A++++. Imagine that. What kind of world is that? This is the world that we're living in, apparently. This is the world that we're living in. These people don't watch anything. You can't convince me otherwise. You can't convince me that these people watched more than 3 shows from the last year. You can't because the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. They watched 3 shows, maybe 4. Maybe they skim watched a bit of The Queen's Gambit, but 3 shows they watched this year, and it shows from the winners list. They watched The Crown, they watched Ted Lasso, and they watched Mare of Easttown. That's it. Everything else, we don't have time, even though it's their job. And the thing is, whenever the media like congratulates a series for having a bunch of nominations or even a bunch of wins, it's always seen as like this positive thing. Like, congratulations, this is so amazing. It's filled with all this praise. But in my mind, it's a failure. It's a failure on the Academy's part because there's no way that each of those series deserved so many wins. You should ideally have split up those wins amongst those other series, because the fact of the matter is that all of those series deserve consideration for wins. All of those series are excellent for the most part in this nominations list. So the fact that you have shows that literally have 10 wins, like, what? No, that just tells me you didn't watch anything else. That's not something to congratulate them for. Okay, so now let's get into my actual thoughts on the individual winners, the big winners of the night. Let's start off with The Crown, because they absolutely swept last night, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm wholly surprised that The Crown won a bunch of awards last night. Like, let's be real, I've been paying attention for the last few years, and also last season was just so excellent. Last season of The Crown was excellent, okay? I'm not saying that it doesn't deserve recognition. I'm saying it should have never gone home with so many awards considering its competition, but whatever, we've already done that point. But in terms of the awards that The Crown did win, let's start off with the ones that I completely agreed with. So Gillian Anderson, absolutely positively, like, I'm not even surprised. She absolutely deserved to take that award home for her portrayal of Margaret Thatcher in season 4 of The Crown. Wonderful, absolutely, so happy for her. And then the series also won Best Overall Drama Series, which, you know, I'm not wholly surprised by either. I do feel like it had a bit more competition than Gillian Anderson did in her category, so the fact that it won is pretty amazing. But at the same time, like I said, it was an excellent season, and The Crown is beloved by awards voters anyway, so it wasn't the biggest shock. But what was a pretty big shock. What was a pretty big shock was Emma Corrin not winning for her portrayal of Princess Diana. Like, what? So one of the shining stars of season 4 who portrayed Princess Diana, who was the topic of conversation when season 4 came out. The reason why, I'm so sorry, the reason why The Crown was so popular last year, because it's been around, okay, like I said, it's been a favourite amongst awards voters for a while, it's been around, but the fact that it was trending last year is because of Princess Diana being the topic of discussion in this series, and she was beautifully portrayed, incredibly portrayed by Emma Corrin. But we're going to ignore that fact. We're going to ignore that. We're going to ignore reason and instead award Olivia Colman for the upteenth time portraying the same character. I'm very confused. She's done it now for the second time. She already won a bunch of awards last year for the portrayal of Elizabeth II, but Emma Corrin was the one who shone this season. She was the bright light of the whole show this season. Why on earth was she snubbed for the award? And literally everyone else gave her the awards. Everyone else laid the awards at her feet, but the Emmys were like, nah, we're just gonna give it to Olivia Colman again. What? Please someone explain. Please someone, like, please someone make sense of it. And I know I already had issues with the fact that Emma Corrin was put alongside Olivia Colman under Best Female Lead in a drama series. So I already knew there'd be a little bit of tension there, but there was so much great competition in that category anyway. Like, I'm not even looking elsewhere in the nominees list. I'm just focusing on these two. The fact that Olivia Colman, like the person who I would say was at the bottom of my list out of that category, ended up taking this home. It's just mind-blowing to me. And then another shock to me was the winner of Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series, which ended up going to Josh O'Connor. And like, again, I'm a huge fan of Josh O'Connor. I think he's great as Prince Charles in The Crown. Like, he's phenomenal, fantastic. Like, I'm not taking anything away from him. But have you seen that nominations list? Have you seen the nominees in the category? Like, you're telling me Josh O'Connor beat out Jonathan Majors in Lovecraft Country? They didn't watch Lovecraft Country though. They didn't watch Lovecraft Country. They didn't bother to, or they didn't understand it. And so of course they gave it straight to Josh O'Connor because they were already on the Crown winning streak. So they were like, yeah, just give it to him as well. Although not to Emma Corrin. How can they give the Emmy to Josh O'Connor but not to Emma Corrin? Were they paid off by Prince Charles? Conspiracy theory? What was going on? Like, what was the thought process? Like, again, you guys, please help me figure this one out. And then yet another surprise was for Best Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series, which went to Tobias Menzies. And again, huge fan of Tobias Menzies on the show. I think he's a great Prince Philip. I definitely felt like some of the other nominees on this list deserved to be recognized more than he did. I mean, of course, we do have Michael K. Williams, the late actor who passed away recently, and I always said that he was phenomenal in Lovecraft Country. I did a bunch of reviews for Lovecraft Country last year, so you can go ahead and check those out if you haven't already. But he was just amazing. The character that he was portraying was so complex. He wasn't always likable, okay? And I made my dislike of the character quite vocal, but that didn't have anything to do with Michael K. Williams's portrayal of the character. He did a great job portraying him. It's just the way that he's written is that he's a complex being that you don't always agree with, and I think Michael K. Williams was able to beautifully portray all of the different layers of this character. So it's just heartbreaking to see that he wasn't awarded for this great performance. I do believe that the Emmy voting had already ended by the time that he had passed, although I don't know if that would have made much of a difference because we saw what happened with the Oscars and Chadwick Boseman, but whatever. And also I did have to dig in a bit deep for this one, but I did see that Claire Foy also won for Best Actress in a Guest Role or as a guest star. And honestly, like, I'm not mad at that. Honestly, like, I'm not mad at that. I love Claire Foy so much. I think Claire Foy as Queen Elizabeth II was just a stroke of genius. I truly think she was the perfect young Queen Liz. So I wasn't mad at the fact that she won another Emmy for her portrayal of the character, even if it was for like the split second that she appeared in season 4. Okay, so next up, let's talk about the Ted Lasso gang. Let's talk about the fact that Ted Lasso swept up all of the comedy categories, and like rightfully so. Now, if I did have any questions or queries about some of the wins from the Ted Lasso gang, it would maybe be Hannah Waddingham winning for Best Actress in a Supporting Role in a Comedy Series. I feel like we could have given that one to someone else. Having said that though, taking a look at the list now, I don't know who they would have given it to. Okay, I'm fine with Hannah winning. Like, I think because Juno Temple was also nominated alongside her, but I think of the two, I am fine with Hannah winning. So fine, I'll let you have that one. But we did see Brett Goldstein win for his role as Roy Kent, which is like, again, like, it's right, it's just, it makes sense. And then of course we have Jason Sudeikis himself, the man of the hour, whose paycheck, by the way, recently went sky high, sky high, for season 3 of Ted Lasso, which is already underway. But he ended up winning for Best Lead Actor in a Comedy Series, and like, yeah, absolutely, he's great as Ted Lasso. This might be the role of his career. And then the series as a whole won for Best Comedy Series, and again, like, I'm all for it. I completely agree. I think Ted Lasso is an amazing show. Now, since we're already in the comedy category, I did just quickly want to shout out Jean Smart, who won Best Lead Actress in a Comedy Series. And I didn't get a chance to check out Hacks. I have no idea where it is, actually. I have no idea. I keep hearing Hacks like during awards season or during awards discussions, but I actually don't know where this series is. I am happy that she ended up winning. She had 2 nominations, one for Mare of Easttown, which is another one that we'll be discussing, and also for Hacks. I'm glad to see that she took one of those home, because if she's even close to as good in Hacks as she was in Mare of Easttown, she absolutely deserves it. Okay, so next up, let's talk about Mare of Easttown, yet another major winner last night. And here we see yet another continuation of the British invasion of the Emmys, with Kate Winslet winning Best Lead Actress in a Limited Series. And honestly, like, I'm not mad, but at the same time I am, because that category was really tough. That category was really tough. I was holding out hope for my girl Michaela Cole. I was holding out hope for Elizabeth Olsen, but at the same time, I cannot deny that Kate Winslet's portrayal of Mare was just like faultless. Like, it was, she completely melted into the character, and she's Kate Winslet. Like, usually it's easier for an unknown actress to melt into a character. Like in the case of Emma Corrin, I feel like what helped her was the fact that people didn't really know her, so she just automatically became associated with Princess Diana. Whereas in the case of the upcoming Spencer, which stars Kristen Stewart, all I can see when I'm watching footage of that film is Kristen Stewart. Like, I can literally only see Kristen Stewart, so it's hard for her to kind of disappear into the role. But in the case of Kate Winslet in Mare of Easttown, like, she did it. She became Mare through and through. So I can completely understand why she won the award last night. I do think it was well deserved. But man, did they stick to a theme when it came to the winners yesterday. Like, it was just all white and all British. Although one of the few non-white British winners from last night was my girl Michaela Cole, who won Best Writing in a Limited Series for I May Destroy You. And like, it's not Best Limited Series overall, which is what I wanted for I May Destroy You. I've been saying this. It's been over a year and I've been saying this. But she did end up taking an Emmy home, and I think she is more than deserving of that. And unfortunately, though many people supported her and championed her, Elizabeth Olsen did not go home with that award. And unfortunately, same for Kathryn Hahn, who ended up losing out to Kate Winslet's co-star Julianne Nicholson, who was also in Mare of Easttown. And like, she was also amazing. Like, I already said I feel like this is kind of my fault, because I already said when I was reviewing Mare of Easttown that during that scene, and if you've watched the show, you know, during that scene where she's in the car, that she would automatically win an Emmy. So I already knew I was going to go down to some extent, but I did feel like it was a bit more of an open competition in this category, but it did end up going to her. And honestly, again, I'm not mad, but I feel like there are so many options out there to create a nice, well-rounded list of winners that reflects the diversity and the inclusivity that the industry is heading towards. And of course, since we're on the theme of Mare of Easttown, we need to acknowledge Evan Peters' win for his role in the show. And that also brought a smile to my face. But I was holding out hope for Papa Asedu, who was in I May Destroy You. I think he was great on that series. And then, none of the Hamilton boys ended up going home with any awards, which is unsurprising to me because, that's the Tonys. Okay, you already have the Tonys. You don't need the Emmys as well. Gosh, although Hamilton did go home with an Emmy for like Best Variety Show or Best TV Special or something pre-recorded. So yeah, it didn't go home entirely empty-handed. And also a small petty vindictive side of me kind of finds it funny how Evan Peters ended up taking home an Emmy for his role in Mare of Easttown, which stole a bunch of Emmys from One Division, a show that he was also in, but he was wasted there. Now, in terms of the overall winner of Outstanding Limited Series, that ended up going to The Queen's Gambit. That's one of the few nods that this series got in the main Emmys. Now, The Queen's Gambit did get quite a few wins in the Creative Arts Emmys, which happened a few days prior, but those aren't considered like the major Emmys by the public, so I feel like it was surprising to see how little love it got on that side of things, especially because it's yet another Netflix property, and Netflix shells out a ton of money clearly for these awards seasons, but it turns out that the love all went straight to The Crown and none was left for The Queen's Gambit, despite its hype earlier on this year. And since I already mentioned that Claire Foy won for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Drama Series, I suppose I should also mention that Courtney B. Vance won for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series for his role in Lovecraft Country, and that's one of the few nods that Lovecraft Country got in these Emmys, and that's insulting. But that's it from me. Now that I told you guys my thoughts on the Emmy 2021 winners, it's time for you guys to let me know what you thought of this winners list down in the comments below. Please be sure to subscribe to catch new videos coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.